Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is another chatty video. We're going to be chatting more palettes, and this is going to be all the palettes that I have in my collection that give me the summer vibes, because we are doing spring. All of our lovely pastels and softs and that kind of feeling for spring. Now we're getting into more brighter colours, punchy colours, the kind of more tropical end of things, more neon end of things, and just all the fun kind of colour stories that I like to play with a little bit more in the summer. Kind of looks similar to this. This was part of my build your own palette series, but similar to this kind of style where I would wear like all these like really bright, fun, punchy sort of shades before we get more into the deeper end of the year, the more grungy end of the year. Although I'll always have grunge in all of my looks, the grungy end of the year is always down there. So in this video I have got 11 palettes. I think 2 are small, so I count them as 1, so 10, but 11 really. And I just have them piled, no particular like brand order per se, just kind of smallest to the biggest is the way I stacked them, because that was the safest way to stack them. Just before we get into the actual video, this look is filmed. It will be live on my channel soon. I don't know when, but soon. I think it might already be live. I don't know. I just film these and then I put them into a little schedule for each month. That's how it goes. But it is live, or will be live, and you can go check that out. So let us get into these 11 summery vibes palettes and my reasons why I picked them. Okay, starting off, these are in no particular order. This is not a ranking. This is not my top 10 or 11 or whatever it is. This is just me picking a palette that I like. So we're not going to fuss about what is before which in this video. So my first ones, I'm just going to pop these together because they're kind of the similar thing. They look exactly the same, but they're not. We have got the Huda Beauty Neon Orange Obsessions palette and the Neon Pink Obsessions palette. They literally look the same because neon pink has an orange tint to it. It's very weird. So let me show you the neon pink first, which I'm going to pop it upside down like this. This gives me very much like summer Barbie festival kind of vibe. Like you want like a cool wash of like a corally shade on the lid with a little sparkle on it. You want to play with some more of those purpley tones, those violet-y tones. Can you see the duochromes in that? So beautiful. I love this little colour story. I think these are so pretty. I am going to start getting back into doing like tutorials on my Instagram, like reels and stuff like that. So if you want to see any of that with any of these palettes or any palettes I already have in my collection that you know I have, let me know in the comments down below what palettes you want me to see me do on there. It can be discontinued palettes that I have in my collection, because I am going to do that as well. One of them is in this video, and I will be doing a video on that on my Instagram story, so let me know down below what you want. And then the Neon Orange Obsessions palette is this one. I love this one even more because this is a bit more of a cool colour story, a bit more curated sort of vibe to it. You've got the kind of pinky tones, you've got more punchy orange, yellow, that chartreuse just gives me everything. Just like really nice and like a summer drink, like a cocktail is that kind of vibe I get from this sort of palette, and I think it's beautiful. Next up is another bright and neon and Vior palette, and this is discontinued, which I'm so sad about. This is the Kidos Futurism 4 palette, the VR neon, and I love the packaging. It's very like 90s sort of vibe. I think it's very cool. This is the colour story in here. Oh, she's beautiful. This is the first palette I ever used from Kidos. This is one of the first ones that I ever bought, well, was bought for me by my boyfriend for my birthday one year, along with the Cyber Bronze and the Astro Pink. But this is the first one I played with. First time I ever played with Kidos was this palette. You've got these beautiful matte bright and like a neon red, which is, I mean, neon red, not usually done, but neon red, and these beautiful shimmers here. I've got first impressions, and mostly for every palette a 2 looks 1 palette, but I have first impressions for everything here. There's just one that I don't have a 2 looks 1 palette on, but I'll be getting to that soon. So go search any of them on my channel if you want to see them, but this is the one I was talking about that is discontinued, that I do want to play with, do an Instagram reel tutorial on it. Next up is Odin's Eye. I'm not sure if this is still available actually, but this one I knew for sure. This is like the second palette I pulled out of this little pile. This is the Odin's Eye and Betty Bean, or Betty Jean. It's the Planet Spirit palette. It came out with the Perfect World collection, but this is how she looks here, and this is inspired by the world. This is the animals in the world, the spirit of the world, and this is just summer in a palette. It's a carnival like summer carnival. That's the way I described it in my first impressions, and that's the way I still describe it now. It's a summer carnival. It is beautiful. You've got mattes and shimmers equally throughout. You've got beautiful iridescence. This is my favourite shade in the whole palette. I think it's gorgeous. I wore this when I went to see Paramore. I done a two-tone look with the orange and greens in this. So go check out those videos if you want to see those in action. But I just think I love how bright and punchy, and it's very different for Betty Jean as well to do something like this because she's more that spooky grungy sort of vibe. But doing like these bright pops of colour is so fun, and I just think it's stunning. I think it's beautiful and perfect for the summer. Next up is one that I actually was kind of surprised when I was going through these palettes that I picked this one in this, but I do actually kind of get this vibe off it. I have the Glaminatrix Glamorous palette. Again, I don't know if this is available. Glaminatrix are always discontinuing their stuff. This one I actually got in pure. Just saying. No, don't want to brag, but you know. And this is it here, and I don't know what it is. I think it's the purples. I think it's the purple with the teal and this bright kind of yellow. Just gives me this, like, it's bright, it's summer, but maybe like a summer at night, like a summer's night. That kind of vibe, like you're going to a party at night, beach party at night, and this is the kind of vibe you want to go for. That's what I kind of get out of this. You got this beautiful, like, khaki sort of duochrome here. The shimmers from Glaminatrix are always stunning anyway, but the mattes are beautiful. The only thing I would change is maybe this and this is very similar. I'd maybe make like one of them lighter, I'm not sure, something like that. And I love that your darker shade is a matte and then lightest shade is a shimmer. Gorgeous. I played with this. I done a 3 looks on palette with this, I'm pretty sure, and my first impressions as well with that. If you want to see any of the swatches involved as well, which I'll already have swatches of all these up anyway, but if you want to see it more involved and in action on my eye, then go check it out on my channel. Next we've got 2 Juvia's Place palettes, and this one up here is the Sahara 2 palette. This one gives me like warm desert kind of summer vibes, like beachy, these kind of warm mattes down here with the pops of blue, like you're at a lagoon, like you're in the Caribbean, that kind of vibe to it. More kind of bronzy sort of shades, and just it's a little bit sexy. This palette, I don't know why, it's just a little bit sexy. It's very sultry and like smoky liner with a pop of one of them shimmers on the lid, like something like that, you know what I mean? I think this is a beautiful palette. I think it's a great one for summer. I think it's a great one if you want to dip your toe into colour but still have that neutral element as well. She's a good one. And another one from Juvia's Place, obviously it's the Zulu palette. Now this is fun. She's a bright one. Oh, she's pretty. I got this also as a birthday present from my boyfriend. Me and my boyfriend have been together for 8 years. Almost 8 years. So there's been many birthdays and many palettes that have been bought by him. So this is one of them. I did pick it myself. I do pick a lot of them. Any makeup things, he's always like, what makeup do you want? And I'm like, there you go. There's a couple of options. Pick one of those. And he picked this one. And this lime green is one of my favourite lime greens in my whole collection. I love how bright these kind of bluey tones are here. This purple is stunning as well. Very interesting pinky red here as well. My only gripe is that this brown is just a little bit, maybe do a deeper teal or a deep burgundy or something with more colour to it, because it's just a bit random, like a deep red, or maybe like a light, I don't know, something different than the brown. The brown is the only thing that kind of irritates me about this palette, but I do love the colours in this. Great one if you want to like get one palette that has loads of colours in it and just play with that and see how you get on. This is a good one. Okay, next, this is the one that I don't have a 2 looks on palette on, but I will have it this year. You can see that more in action. This is the Ace Beauté Paletopoly palette. Now this was a really fun release and I really had to get into it. I haven't I've dipped into it the odd time since doing my first impressions and playing the game, but basically it's a game, okay? So it's basically like a palette bingo done in the form of like, it's been something that's released from a brand, which is really fun. So basically you have all these cards, each card has a shade on it and a number on it, and you have a piece of paper, and basically you have to flip these cards, and if you get 2 matches, whichever one has the higher value goes onto one side. It's a little bit confusing when you're not kind of in it. When you're in it, it's fine, and then you have to, and it literally picks where these colours go as well. So if you're going by the page, your first shade will be, you know, your crease, the second shade will be your outer corner, the third shade will be your lid, fourth shade will be your under eye, fifth shade will be your inner corner, like that kind of thing. It's fun. You don't necessarily need it. You can literally just do random number generator and go from there. But this is a fun palette and I cannot wait to do my To Look Some palette with this. I think it's going to be so fun. Like this whole row of chartreusiness is everything. You've got beautiful like this kind of greeny brown here with these warmer kind of more rich browns, bright poppy purples, blues. Like it's not a rainbow palette, but it's got a bit of everything there. And like the names are beautiful, like As If, VHS, Fanny Pack, love it, Mullet, Purple Rain, Leg Warmers. Oh, so fun. Like I kind of almost forgot about this last year when I was like using everything else, and I kind of got pushed back a little bit. And then I opened it, I can't remember when I was playing with it or when I opened it again. I think I was just taking it out to see what I had that I still hadn't done my To Look Some palettes on or hadn't used yet. And this was there and I was like, why haven't I played with this more? This palette is so pretty and like just so fun. It's got a bit of everything in there. And it's the newer Ace Beauté formula as well, which I hadn't tried until I done my first impressions with this. So I was kind of like annoyed at myself that I haven't played with this more. So I cannot wait. I have one more palette, 2 more palettes ahead of this on my list of what I'm doing my like first impressions To Look Some palettes. This is next. This one is next. Absolutely. Because even looking at it now, I'm like, oh, I just want to play with it. And the next up is kind of it's one of the things that inspired this video series for me. I know loads of people have done palette or videos like this, but for me to do it, this kind of prompted it. This palette, and I don't know why, but I do know why. This is the September Rose Slush palette. I don't think this is available anymore. This is like one of the palettes I seen online. I was like, I need that palette. And it was like one of the first times I really bought something that I seen on YouTube and like went out and like got it. This is like your tropical paradise rainbow. Oh, it's beautiful. It's not quite red, but it's like more pinky kind of tones. You've got like mattes and shimmers of different variations. It's kind of just like a spectrum of colour that you might need in the summer. And neon and just, she's just everything bright and fun and summer and tropical. And like do you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of like colourful tropical bikinis on a beach. That's what I get the feeling of. Or like blankets or like tapestries that you see on the beach and stuff like that. Like that kind of vibe from it. I adore this palette. I still think it works really, really well. She's old. She is an old one, but she's still beautiful. And next up, this is a palette that I had to get. Once I seen the colour story, I was just like, this is beautiful. This is the Glamlight. This was the first time I ever bought Glamlight, and now I'm such a Glamlight gal because they released so many horror collections last year. And I'm just going to say this now, and I want this on record, on camera, right now. I have a feeling, I don't know, I'm not involved, little old YouTuber like me, no idea. So this is me speculating, okay? I have a feeling we are going to get a Glamlight and Halloween collection. Because last year, or like the beginning of this year, they just put up a question box on Instagram and they were like, hey, if we were ever to do a Halloween movie collab, what would you like to see in it? By God, did I answer that question box. Let me tell you. And I just feel like this year they're going to like finish off the collection of all the horror icons. We have Chucky, we've got Ghostface, we've got Freddy, Jason, and the only one there's 2 they're missing. They're missing Leatherface and Michael Myers. Michael Myers more so though, you need in that little group. So I think that's going to happen, and I think I'm going to have to buy it, aren't I? I am. I've already said this somewhere, and he's like, yeah, you're going to have to buy that. And I was like, yeah, I know. I can't miss that collection. So I'm just saying it right now, that if my predictions are right, I have it on record. Anyway, back to the palettes. This was the first Glamlight palette I ever tried, and what made me kind of fall in love with their formula as well. This is the Glamlight and Michaa palette. Now, you would look at this and think, it's not that summery. It's not that summery. And then you kind of look a little bit closer and you're like, oh, she's a bit summery. Yeah. She has those kind of like punchy blues. Like this cobalt blue is beautiful. The looks I done with this, I done a beautiful kind of neutral smoky brown sort of look up here, with a pop of this chartreuse green on the inner corner, and it was like one of my favourite looks I've ever done. The shimmers in this, especially like the shade Naz and Manifest and even Cookie and Audrey, they are like kind of wet, almost like Super Shock shadows from colour pop. They're that kind of formula and they're so sparkly. They're so beautiful. I just love the punchiness of this. I love like the greens with the purple. It's not full on rainbow. You've got the neutral elements up there that goes nice and warm and peachy. So you have that kind of warm peach corally vibe for the summer as well. But I just love this palette, but you have the option to go dark, which I always love. Okay, and last palette and our largest palette. And this one, again, I kind of just knew this was going to be in it. It's kind of just, it's in the name, it's in the packaging, it's in the colours. It's just there. It was picked for me already. This is the Be Perfect and Stacey Marie Carnival 3 Love Tahiti palette. Look at the size. It's not necessary to be that big. It's just not. But there's so many colours in this that are so good, so I wouldn't even know where to begin to take them out. Like, it is more leaning more on that rainbow-esque, but more like a spectrum of colours. So it's not just like your red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple, pink, you know. It's like variations of those colours with the neutrals built in. You've got a black, you've got lighter shimmers, all that kind of stuff. The only thing I would probably say is I would love more shimmer, which I don't always say in palettes. But maybe like, I'd love to take out like one of these browns, like maybe this one down here, and have a shade exactly like this in shimmer form. This like yellow orange, I think would be beautiful in shimmer form. I would like a blue shimmer in there as well, maybe even like sacrifice a green, which I don't always say, but you know, sacrifice a green and give me an extra blue. Just something else to kind of add in, because I think the blues are a little bit random. There's only kind of like maybe two shades I could probably use that would lean into a blue element to make an all blue eye. But yeah, this is so beautiful. It's kind of like just a spectrum of colours that you can just play with and go with and just do any sort of tropical sort of look you want to do, and give you like the warm vibes, the pops of colour. You have the neutral there, so if you want to go neutral with your pop of colour, you have every colour to choose from. You can literally do the same neutral eye on top and have every single colour you possibly need in a pop of colour from this palette. It's so beautiful, and I think it goes so well, and it can still go grungy, which I always love. It's the best of both worlds. So that is it. That is all of our summer palettes, all the palettes that give me my summer vibes. So I hope you all enjoyed that. I really like chatting about this kind of thing. I love themed, I love seasonal things, so I can't wait to get into my next one's going to be my autumn palettes, and I'm very excited about them because I have a lot to put in there. And then straight after that, the very next month, because that will happen in September, and then straight after that in October is going to be the spooky themed palettes that I have in my collection, or the palettes that give me the spooky vibes, which does a lot as well. That's grown over the last few years, which I'm not complaining about, but it has grown, and yeah, I want to use them all. So yeah, I'm very excited about this little series that I have going on. I think it's very fun. It's really nice to kind of get back into it, like with that Ace Boutique palette. Now I'm like, oh, I want to use it. I want to use them more. And that's what I want to do this year. I want to just use what I have. I'll buy the odd thing here and there. So if there is a Halloween collection from Glamlight, I will be buying it. I have already bought my Ireland Atlantic Way from Nomad. That's fine. But I'm kind of like settled on that for now. I don't see myself really buying anything else that's out currently anyway, unless something spectacular is launched. So I'm happy to just play with everything, and I want to get more, like I said, into my Instagram reels. So let me know down in the comments if there is any palettes you want to see in my Instagram reels, and also what are the palettes that give you the summer vibes, whether it be any of these palettes, any palettes I have in my collection, or palettes I don't have and you have in your collection. Let me know your little list down below. If you did like this video, give me a big thumbs up down below. It's the quickest, simplest and easiest way to give me a little bit of support. Get me around to more people, and also let me know that you like the video, and I'll continue to do many more. And don't forget to subscribe down below to see many more videos coming up. We have got more declutters, we have got more first impressions, more 2 looks on palettes, more chatty videos, and, which is what this one is, a monthly build your own palette every single month. So go hit subscribe down below to see that coming soon. And if you want to see all the up close eye pictures and full face pictures of all of my looks, my Instagram is linked down below, and my TikTok is down there for a little bit of extra content. So I think that's everything for me, guys. I think I've had enough chatting. I want to go and do some cross stitching now. I'm currently cross stitching Lothlorien from Lord of the Rings. So there you go. I want to try and get that as close to finished as I possibly can over the next week. So that's my little project for myself, and I'm very excited. It's a big project. She's a big one, and I'm very excited. So I will see you in the next video.